Wow. Well, we're all telling KRIZ stories, and we've got hundreds of them. We each have hundreds of them. And in trying to think of which one I wanted to tell, and I actually talked about this a little bit with Phil. Back probably 1968, maybe 69, when Arizona was the epicenter of conservative republicanism, unlike it is now. There was this huge media event at what was the place to be in Phoenix, and that was Del Webb's townhouse. That was the place. I mean, if you were in the Mountain Shadows or Camelback Inn, as far as a corporate sort of event, Del Webb's townhouse was the place to be. It was a Republican fundraiser featuring then Vice President Spiro Agnew, who is the one that referred to us as the nattering nabobs of negativity. He was the hatchet man for Richard Nixon's war on the media. At this dinner, Spiro Agnew, Barry Goldwater, Paul Fannin, who was governor, I think. Who was the other senator? Paul Fanning and Governor Williams. Oh, and John Rhodes, Congressman Rhodes, who was Speaker of the House, all from Arizona. All very Republican. Well,
what's your point?
Well, my point is, what I'm leading up to is, do you want to know how I made Richard Nixon's enemies list?
What?
Bob Hungerford, who was mentioned earlier. He and I were going to go cover this event. And I got a call at KRIZ saying, look, we're not feeding you.
No.
We're not accommodating you in any way. You know, if you want to come, we're putting you in the back, and we have very little regard for you, but swing by if you want. So I called Bob Hungerford, who even then, he worked at KRIZ working his way through law school because his aspiration was to become the Republican Attorney General of Arizona. Well, here I'm news director of KRIZ, Cliff Haynes, Bob Hungerford, and I'm the news director. I called Bob. I said, look, I worked a split shift. I worked with Doug in the morning, and then with Pat, and then with Pietro and Joe Light. I said, I can't get home. I'm starving. Have your wife make us some bologna sandwiches. Well, sure enough, she did. And in we walked to Del Webb's townhouse with our Wallen sack or whatever the heck we had, and a bag full of bologna sandwiches. And we're met by the Secret Service. So what you got in the bag, son? So I've got bologna sandwiches in the bag. Take them out of the bag, son. Not a problem. And they're dismantling the bologna sandwiches. And they're laughing.
No.
I mean, they just know the whole thing's preposterous, but they're the Secret Service, and they're just guys working for a living. And here they are, tearing apart our bologna sandwiches. And put them back together. And the way we did news was it was all part of the ensemble. It was all theater. I called Phil outraged. We've been treated so shabbily. They tore apart our bologna sandwiches. One of Phil's great characters was a character called Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So, La, Ti, Do. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So, La, Ti, Do. Like ran a produce business from the back of his 53 Studebaker pickup truck with one of those old scales swinging in the back. So Phil starts creating this great radio theater of Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So, La, Ti, Do, heading down to Del Webb's townhouse to kind of do a raid on Antibi to extricate us from the Republican fundraiser. And we're doing voices, and I'm calling in, and I'm saying what's going on, and where's Do, Re, Mi, and Do, Re, Mi's coming in, and we just had the best time. So later I found out I was on Richard Nixon's enemies list through the Freedom of Information Act, and it it tells you, you know, it'll tell you why. Because I brought a bologna sandwich into the big Republican confab headed by Spiro Agnew. That's one of many KRIZ stories. Like I said, we've all got one. That one I wanted to share because I shared it like I did so many with my friend Phil. Thanks.